she was 6 years old. And on a Sunday afternoon, this lady came to the house. And she and Daddy went into the living room. And she sat on the stair step outside, waited till they came out. When they came out sometime later, they announced that Niloak was to be the name of the pottery. So she was 6 years old, and she was born in 1904.
1910 again.
She didn't know who the woman was, where she came from, what her business was. She just vaguely remembered that event.
How many siblings did you have?
Well, my mother lost 2 boys and then just this one sister. And she died at 103.
Who? Your sister?
Last year. Did you know her, Joy?
I don't think.
Norma Bush.
Oh yeah.
Okay. She had a beauty shop uptown for a while.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was your sister.
Well, she was 13 years older than I was.
So that's where my mother's oldest, lost a boy. Then my aunt. There's 5 years between mother and my aunt. Lost twin boys.
Oh my.
Then finally had the 3rd girl. May have been another pregnancy in there.
Oh.
But we know that she was pregnant 3 times, and every time she would conceive a male child, she would lose it. So there's 3 girls, and there's five every 5 years, and you're like, what's going on every 5 years? But there was, all the boys were in between those girls. Okay, going together for.
I told you before that my father went to work for Camwork as a sales agent when he sold his stock, the last of his stock in Niloak. I forgot to tell you that he died accidentally in 1944, and we had this wholesale retail gift shop out on Military Road at the time. So my husband was in the service, and this was our living.
You ran the gift shop.
So I went to Mr. Carnes at Camwork and asked him if I could take over my father's territory. I was the only one left to do that. So he said I could. Well, my father, Bullet, he had traveled North Carolina, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, a wide territory. I stayed and ran the gift shop while he did the traveling.
He traveled by train?
No, he traveled by car. We had a gasoline allotment because this was our business. This was our mode of living. So I could not cover near what he did, but I took over the part of the territory that I could manage, which was as far as Springfield, Missouri, Arkansas, only as far as Memphis in Tennessee. I did not attempt Oklahoma or Texas. That was about the best I could do because we had 4 tires which were recaps and no spare tire. So I never went alone. I always took some friend or relative with me, and I was already acquainted with most of his customers, with most of Bullett's customers, because I'd gone with him so much. So they all knew me, and they were very loyal to keep doing business with me. Some experiences that I had during this time were pretty exciting, pretty interesting, but I kept that up until my husband came home from the service in 46, I guess it was. 45, I guess it was. Anyway, I was a traveling salesman one time, and I do not care to return to that career.
Oh, that's good.
I failed to mention the sizes of the Niloak vases. The smallest ones, similar to this, were about 2 inches, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. They were made only on special order because they're more tedious to make than the larger sizes. They were usually given out as favors when there were big conventions in Little Rock or Hot Springs. These were favors for the delegates to those places. This is another one, a little different shape. This one came to me. I don't know how many of you remember the, wait a minute, I can't. This one came to me from a friend. It was made for her. She and her parents were visiting the pottery, and they were from Fort Smith. So he made this little vase for her and had it fired and sent to her. She gave it back to me, and I thought that was a very special favor. The largest vases they made were about 28 inches, and they were made also on special order. And when one of those was made, the workforce gathered around to watch the process because it was quite interesting. One pair that he made for one of the gift shops in Hot Springs, special order, and this dealer put the vases in his window. And when my dad saw them, he said, "Man, I wish I had those back. I believe that's the most perfect pair that I've ever made." So he tried to buy them back from this man's name was Mr. Schudmack. And he tried to buy them back from him for years. And Mr. Schudmack would not sell them to him, nor would he sell them to anybody else. So they sat in his window as long as he had a shop there. And that's the two largest ones that I've ever seen. But he did make them for other places. He made umbrella stands about that height for hotels. They were in the Masonic building in Little Rock, may still be there. They were in the Union Depot. They were called sand jars. They were filled with sand so people could stub their cigarettes and cigars in them. They were in the old medical school, which was on the grounds of MacArthur Park. They were in many public buildings. I don't know whether any of them are still extant in Little Rock, but there were a number of them, again, made on special order. But that was the range of sizes. Mostly they were in usable decorative sizes of probably 8 to 12, 18, 20, 22 inches maybe, because that was the most saleable size. But there was a large range of sizes. And there was something else I was...
Might have been. But you can use that